Good morning and welcome to Morning Moments. I have another actress. Matter of fact, she's an actress, producer, teacher, author, uh, Karla Dansereau. And Karla is from the Nashville area, somewhere in the Nashville area, and we've had such a wonderful time talking and chatting a little bit. And I've asked her to share a little bit of about her heart. What does she do and why does she do it? Welcome, Karla.
Thank you so much, Andy. Thank you for having me. Um, what do I do and why do I do it? I act and produce and try to be as creative as possible because it is my passion. It is my calling. It brings me so much joy. When I step onto a set or a stage or I'm given a character to delve into, I step into who I am created to be, and I feel like I come to life. Um, it was very clear to me from the time I was about 15 that I wanted to be an actress. And I wrote in my journal at age 15, before there was such a thing as faith-based films, that one day I was going to be a Christian actress in a Christian movie. And I wrote it all those years ago. And through fits and starts and stops and, ins and outs of life, there were times when I thought that maybe I didn't hear that I made that up. But God always, through his kindness, kind of reined me back in and set me on that path again. No matter how many detours I took, I seemed to always end up back on a stage or acting somehow. And I can remember when I first realized the power of this gift that was given to be able to act and act truthfully. I had watched the movie On Golden Pond. It was like a 1981 movie with Jane Fonda and Henry Fonda and Katharine Hepburn. And the relationship that was being portrayed between the father and the daughter was exactly like my relationship with my father. And I was so moved by those performances and by Jane Fonda's portrayal of this daughter and her struggle. And I thought to myself, wow, I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to make people feel something like that. And I realized that by making people feel something, or by seeing themselves represented on a movie screen, they might not be felt to be seen by anyone in their lives, right? But they go to a theater and they see themselves portrayed up there. Someone must have seen them to write this character, to describe them to a T, so they get to feel seen. And I thought, what a gift to be able to make people who might not otherwise feel seen, seen. And that's always been my goal with any role that I've taken on, is just to remember, even if it's a fictional character, it's based on some kind of a reality, to try to bring and breathe life into that and to honor the person that might be representing. So that's a gift to me to be able to do that.
You've been involved in not only fictional characters, but you've also been in some real life movies too about people that you even know, right?
Absolutely. My beautiful cousin Jamie has a neurological disease. It's a fatal disease. It's very rare. It's called Huntington's disease. And I'm an actress. I had never produced anything before, Andy, but I went to visit my cousins. Jim and Pat are my cousins, and their daughter Jamie is the one that has Huntington's disease. And while I was visiting Jamie, you cannot help but be moved by her. She has this incredible, beautiful spirit and this beautiful smile. And she was sharing from the depth of her heart. She knows that she is going to die. She has this disease, yet she has a joy that's just infectious. And I went home and I was wrecked. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat for several days. That's all I could think. And I felt like Noah. I really thought must be what Noah felt like, because it was just so clear to me to tell Jamie's story. And from that point on, I mean, all I'm going to say is every door was open for us financially, just the team that I was able to assemble, and the final beautiful documentary is changing lives. People are watching it and asking, how can she smile? Like, why does Jamie smile? And it's been a life-changing project for me.
You sent that to my wife and I, and we watched it, and I sent you a message back, and it said, after I got done crying, I wanted to make sure we set this interview up. And she and Karla texts back or message back, I should have warned you to have Kleenex. And it is, I gotta tell you to watch that film. Folks, watch it. And also, as a nurse, it was real important for me to hear, and it humbled me to see that there's so many people I've worked with through the years who've been given a diagnosis that maybe they wouldn't have ever chose, and said, but some people have said, okay, God, whatever you have for me, I'm still going to smile through that. And that was the message of the whole, why she smiles. And what a beautiful film that was. You did a great job in portraying that.
Thank you. Yeah. Jamie reminds me a lot of in The Hiding Place, when Betsy Ten Boom was dying. Her last words to Corey she said, we have to tell everyone, and they'll believe us. We'll have the right to speak because we have been here. And we have to tell them that there is no pit so deep that he is not deeper still. And Jamie is light years ahead. God has given her that ability to see that there's no pit that he's not deeper still. And she knows that when she comes to the time, when it is her time to go and to leave us and go to heaven, she knows even that he will give her the strength to do that. Like, she's just extraordinary in that way. And I just thought for this time right now that we are in, this pandemic, natural disaster, all of the hurt and the pain and everything, this film is, and Jamie's life and her parents and her whole family is a reminder to me, not through this whole thing, to me, like, I'm blessed by my beautiful family, and a reminder about this time that we're in, that there's no pit so deep that he is not deeper still.
And to trust that God's with us. He said he'll never leave us nor forsake us. He's always, always there, no matter what we go through. And we often get reminded of that through stories and realize that there's a need for us to trust in God. I have found people that are fearful, usually fear is a direct correlation with our lack of trust in God. And when I fear, it's because I haven't trusted him. And when you see somebody that puts their full trust in God, that spirit of fear is gone, and that spirit of peace is upon them. And that's what's so important, is just to don't be fearful of what God, what others have said, done, or what you're going through. That God is always, always with you.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. And she's spunky. She is also not afraid. She has a little more difficult time speaking now, but she is not afraid to say, you know, God is um, not offended by questions, and He's bigger than your fears
Yeah.
and your questions. And we are human. We do have those things, but isn't it great to know that
He's
He's greater than all of those things?
he's got pretty broad shoulders. He can handle it.
He can handle it.
That's right. Well, Karla, it has been an absolute delight. I'm going to go ahead and down below in the comment section, I'm going to be mentioning your films and what you've done and how to also get a hold of your films. And then if you'll give me some of those websites for contact, and not only what you've done, but some things that you're doing in the future, so that people can keep an eye and see what you're doing far as your books as well as your movies. And more important than just keeping an eye on what you've done and what you're doing, I want people to be praying for you, that pray that God would continue to put the right person and the right story and give her the right role, and that she follows just exactly the plan that God has for her, and that God would just give her the strength to do His word and His will each and every day. Thank you, Karla, for taking the time.
Thank you so much, Andy.
All right. And thank you all for joining me for Morning Moments. And if you would pass this on and keep coming back. God bless you.